Hi guys, RIOT here. Just want to check in, make sure you're okay.
Welcome to today's podcast.
We don't spend a whole lot of time on the Capitol stuff. I think there's probably one break about it at the very, very beginning. And we talked about it a few more times in the show, but it just seemed like a little redundant to keep throwing it in the podcast. So if you really want opinions and news about what's happened, everyone else is talking about it all the time.
So there you go.
And they're probably more qualified than I am. So today in the show, Nikki and I chat about the CEO job that we both are really cut out for.
Well, you hear about a salary, and it's tempting. It's very tempting.
Yeah. I mean, the salary presents itself, and I'll do whatever job it takes.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We also find the perfect T-shirt. I'm buying some of those today.
Oh, I hope you do.
I am.
I'd be curious to see what they look like and feel like.
Hopefully good, because I think I'm going to buy two.
Okay, good. That's a good number to start off with. You don't want to buy just one for shipping purposes. You just go ahead and get two.
Right. We talk about my psychology and my problems with comparing and contrasting.
It goes deep.
It's weird, guys. I think I might have found the source, but I can't be sure. New Year's resolutions, CES, DoorDash drivers, and the great time I had at the pharmacy.
I think that's everybody's favorite from the day.
Yeah, a lot of response to that, so it's good.
Well, thanks for listening to the podcast today. We hope everyone's well, and we're going to have a good day. So feel free to text hello 8772 RadioU. Just a reminder, as a podcast listener, include your name and that you listen to the podcast, because we're not in the studio all day. So that way, when you're texting, if another DJ's in, they'll make sure we see it and we can get back to you when we're in the following show.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
This is RadioU's Worst of the Riot.
Hey, does anybody know any good jokes?
Happy Thursday, everybody. Good morning. It's almost Friday. Aren't we glad?
What a weird few days, man.
That is true.
Seriously. I know, we're not going to spend the show on it or anything today, but yesterday was a weird one. I'm just going to tell you, just a moment of honesty here. I just keep thinking over and over again. I see photos that look like Tailgaters seized the Capitol building yesterday. That guy with those horns.
Oh, the outfit on? Yeah.
I mean, isn't he just from a State Farm, or not State Farm, but isn't that Mayhem from the...
the commercial?
The commercial? I mean, doesn't he tailgate and wear a hat like that?
It was odd. It was all odd.
It's like there are pictures of him in the Senate chambers, and I was like, what day is it? Where are we? Is this really happening? And it was like, yes, it is. And I'm like, nah, it's not. Change the channel. It's on this channel too.
It's everywhere.
It was bizarre. So I just want you to know, I am personally struggling to get my brain on reality, probably just as much as you are, but that's not going to keep us from doing the riot this morning.
That's what we do. We're here.
So we are here. We got plenty of nonsense for you. I will tell you that, you know what, I'm praying for you and for our country and all those things. And I will say that you know how some people say that, but they're not actually doing it. I took some time and did it. Maybe you take some time and do it today, too. Don't just say you're going to do it, but actually do it. It's a good idea.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, Internet. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, I did a lot of soul searching yesterday, mostly about career options and, where do we go from here?
Sure.
And I continue to wonder what it is that I want to do with my life when I grow up.
It seems like, does that feeling of wondering never go away?
Maybe. And so, Nikki, I've decided that when I grow up, I want to be the CEO of Apple.
Do you? I would see that being a profitable move.
Yeah, that's what I think I want to do. And I mean, the thing is, I don't want to do it for a really long time, just a couple years. Make my contribution, and then I'll be ready to retire at a young age.
I don't even know if I would want to head up the whole thing, but I want to be in a position to where then you're always like, oh, here's the new one. Here you go. You're just giving it.
They just give it to
you.
So
you want to be high enough with that, but maybe not all the way at the top with so much responsibility.
Well, but here's the thing. So, have you noticed how a lot of times that the further up the chain you go, the less responsible people get to be?
I wonder, though, if you're all the way at the top, I'm sure you're more busy than we realize.
So what you're saying is...
There's more pressure than we notice.
That it's kind of this Venn diagram or whatever where you need we need to find the position within the Apple company that is high enough that you're just bossing people around, but low enough that when there's a problem, it's not really your fault.
Exactly. I'm thinking consultant, something along those lines.
Oh, like what about junior vice president?
That's good. Just enough to, again, be in Apple, but not having to worry about it.
Well, I can tell you that yesterday we found out that if you take his bonuses, it looks like our good friend Tim Cook, whose job I'll be getting soon.
How much is he getting? Is that what this tells?
Yeah, I mean, he pulled in somewhere in the neighborhood. It was like 260, 270 million.
Oh, well, maybe we should work for that. Maybe we should, have that as our goal.
Well,
Gosh,
I mean,
that's so much money.
Like, do I just go in and like hand him my application or like a resume?
You don't want to get stopped at the door. You don't want it to, you're not a normal hire. So I don't think you should go that way.
Well, the TV shows that I watch told me that I can be anything that I want to be.
It doesn't
as long as I believe in myself.
I don't know if that's every person.
I just want you to know that I believe in myself. Mm-hmm. I believe in the power of my dreams.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Tim Cook, the power of my dreams are to seize his job and become the head of Apple.
He's coming for you, so he would like that job.
You know what? He'll probably, in my dreams, he just hands it over to me with very little effort. So I imagine it's going to be great.
Do they cover the pay like for anybody else, or should we start like a ladder? Should we start with someone else and then work our way up?
No, it looks all I have is info on him. Yeah.
Wow. And I was even thinking, even though I doubt it's like that, like with someone in sports where like, oh, that's not even the advertisement stuff. Like that's just the job. But I wonder how much else extra he gets.
Well, that's
plenty.
That is the combination of both the money he made and the shares he received in the company.
So it is all that.
So, I mean, that's extra. I don't think he has a shoe line that's coming out anytime soon.
You never know.
Honestly, it wouldn't be like the weirdest thing I've seen. I feel like it would be maybe something from Tom's. Maybe, I'll have to think about it.
It feels like a patent for their own. So
yeah, that's actually right. What am I saying?
Some sort of in-house company.
That's not a collab. They don't collab. They just make their own.
Listening to the worst of the riot is the equivalent of standing in line at the BMV. Ugh. Worst of the riot. RadioU.
Do you have COVID-19 right now? Are you sure?
Are we asking the room or no? You mean you're asking everybody else?
For $110. I can tell you if you have COVID-19. And Nikki, you're not going to have to leave your house.
Oh, is this the Australian one from last year or is this a new one?
No, this is a new one. It is now I'm going to call it dexterity, I guess. But it's an at-home test that is for sale on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah.
And it works? Well, I mean, that is... we'll wait for the reviews.
That's an interesting question that you're asking there.
But is this similar to the other one where you don't have to send in your lab stuff, or will you have to?
Well, okay. The kit includes everything you need for sample collection, which is, by the way, saliva.
I gotcha.
So you're going to spit into whatever, and then you send that sample collection to
a lab,
and then they'll tell you if you have it.
So do they have like a turnaround time?
They say results are available within 24 to 72 hours of the receipt of the sample.
So once it gets there, then that starts that clock.
Right. But as part of the kit, it's prepaid express shipping.
Oh, that's
so
good.
So that means that in reality, it should be at most a day or two till it gets where it needs to go. They'll test it, and then you have a day or two to find out. So you'll know in a week.
I'm sure we will.
That's way faster.
I'm sure we'll get to a point where it's available and it's fast and it's easy.
Sure. I mean,
and it's like through Teledoc now.
I get that people don't want to go to the clinic, but this is not that fast. I mean, I knew within hours whether or not I had COVID.
Sure, but I think for some, it might be just the anxiety of like, well, how do you find the place? What do you do? But at this point, most people it's easier than it was in the beginning. That would have been more helpful earlier on.
Sure. And I mean, for those of you that are afraid of like the nasal swab test, it's a great sensation. You'll really enjoy it. And
you haven't had one in a while.
I liked it so much. I went back 2 more times
just to get it.
So, I mean, what are you talking about? It's fine.
I watched. It was a vlog from someone, and they had to go get it, and man, it wrecked them. You could tell they were a changed person because they didn't expect it to be like that. And then you could go see someone else, and they play it off like, oh, it's fine, no issues. But man, this person was changed.
Well,
they will never forget that.
That's just because your entire life you've been picking your nose. And you're like, no, I haven't. Yeah, you have.
Well,
you've been putting your finger up there. And your finger can only go so far.
Yeah.
And so you just assume that's as far as anything can go.
You thought it stopped there.
You were like, once you get up to that one spot, nothing goes past that. Man, there's so much farther you can go. It's terrifying how far you can go.
So what is the test called?
I'm calling it dexterity. It's DXTERITY. It's $110. But, Nikki, wait till you hear this.
What?
I can get you 10 of them for $1,000.
Oh my gosh, that's so much money.
That's $100 in savings.
Never mind. That's a lot of money. You forget. No thanks.
You know what? Let's get a little whiny in here.
Well, yeah, I'm not being appreciative, but then what's the site too where you have to run through are the reviews real or are they fake?
Fake Spot.
Yeah, Fake Spot. That's it. You want to run through. It looks like there's only 7 reviews, so it's not like there's much to run through. But is it people at the lab? Are they kind of propping it up?
It's good. Well, you know what's funny is that it is. If you go back, like there's only 7 reviews going back to December 19th. Which means apparently this is not a very popular option.
It's not been featured as much. So, and there's 3 answered questions. So there's an option in case you need to do one.
I'm out. No thanks.
You're good. You don't need one in a while.
Yeah, I'm good.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah. You did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
Going through my inbox here, just hearing from people. A lot of people really upset about some of the things that happened yesterday. And you know what? I don't want to get into it a whole lot. There's even among like our circles of other broadcasters, it's like, how are you going to handle it in the morning? You know,
everybody's asking.
Everybody's wanting to talk about it and stuff. And I totally get it. Here's what I got a tweet from somebody that just said, I just don't know how much more of this I can take. And I get that. I don't have the answers on the national level. I don't know what we're supposed to do or et cetera, et cetera. But I will tell you, I know what it's like to deal with the feeling that, you've got this thing in your life where you're like, oh, that'll never happen. That's one thing that is never going to be like, you can always count on that. And then for reasons you don't understand, suddenly that person that you counted on disappoints you, or that organization you thought would always be there goes under, or your candidate doesn't win. I don't know what it is. I really genuinely know what that's like. I know the despair that is there. I know that disappointment. I know the bitterness of it. I will tell you that in the middle of it, you don't always get over it in one day. It may take time to process. It may take time to get over it. But one of the things that Jesus does promise us is that if we talk to him, that he is able to give us a peace that doesn't make any sense. You're like, whoa, hey, I get it. Like Jesus is up front saying, look, this isn't going to make sense. I'm going to help you have some peace and relax, and your mind, it won't make sense, but you're still going to have it in the middle of the circumstances. So today, that's really what I have to offer you is I can't make heads or tails of some of the things that have happened, et cetera, et cetera. But I can say to you that Jesus says that if we go to him with the stuff that's bothering us and we just lay it out and talk to him about it, that he can give us peace in the middle of hard times. So that's what I have been doing. And that is something that you can do. Now, again, it's not something we just talk about. You got to do it. I mean, take 5 minutes right now. I hate to say this, but turn your radio down or whatever it is and take a few minutes and just say, Jesus, here's where I am. Talk to him about what you saw yesterday. Talk to him about what's on your heart this morning. Talk to him about what happened over the summer. Get real with God in that relationship and then say, hey, you can offer me peace. I need the peace that you have to offer. Doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to have special words. You can just talk to God about it right this instant. If you don't know him and you've never started, just start by saying, Jesus, I want what Obadiah is talking about. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. And I want that peace that you have, because I do not have it.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on RadioU.
So I've got, Nikki, another message here in our inbox. This from Jennifer. She posted... or she got her first positive COVID test back.
Oh, did she? So and Jeff was just texting too. He's got until, I think Friday or Saturday till he's done with his.
So Jennifer says, hey to Obi, got my first COVID test today. Woohoo. Positive test. Sorry. I feel all right, but live by myself. So I'm curious if you have suggestions for easy ways to keep busy.
Oh yeah. To stay occupied with that.
You know what? I will say I leaned into a lot of the, like blogger ideas, like, meaning that stuff you've heard before. So like I maintained a schedule. I got up at the same time every day. I went to bed at roughly the same time every day. I don't know, like Jennifer, if you're sick. I was so sick. And so the idea of like, how did you stay busy? I just laid around a lot.
That was busy to him at that time.
Was. And I thought that I would, like play games or watch movies.
Oh, I think you were just too sick.
I was. And again, so like my advice is not super solid, because I was like, hey, I want to watch a movie. And then I was like, too many colors.
Obi could only do the show in the morning from home, and then that was it. Then the rest of the day, you just have to rest.
It was a stretch. But if you are in the position of, hey, I don't feel super sick, then I would just say, again,
keep your schedule,
routine, and don't be afraid. I'm telling you, man, don't be afraid to reach out to friends and tell them you're lonely. Like, I'll tell you right now, if I had a friend that was in quarantine, I would absolutely, you want to Zoom? Let's Zoom. You want to talk? Let's talk. And, if you don't have people that are checking in on you, I know that nobody likes to do this, but if you need to be the squeaky wheel, be a squeaky wheel, because you have friends that will come over and put oil on you. But if you don't squeak, they might not think to come over and put the oil on.
Sure.
So that's
but in
my
this
2
case,
cents.
they would just stay at the door. They wouldn't come in.
No, they're just gonna video call you.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
Oh well, hopefully she doesn't have too much longer.
Yeah, and I hope you don't, feel bad. If you just have to quarantine and you feel good, I feel sorry for you, of course, and yet,
that's the much better of it all.
It could be worse, I suppose. I'm making my way through Star Trek Discovery. It's not that good, but like.
He's watching it.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think the 3rd season's pretty good.
Okay.
So much better than the other ones.
Well, that's good.
Like, it's an interesting idea. This whole, they can't use their warp drive. We'll get into it some other time.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Man, talk about a missed opportunity. Where was this at Christmas? So often you find yourself trying to buy that something for someone and it's hard to get a hold of. You're like, I was going to get them those PlayStation 5 headphones. I couldn't. But as a close second, I got you this bowl and cutlery that Gandhi used while he was in prison.
Well, is that available?
Man, this sucks. I want the headset.
You would be disappointed.
This is ridiculous. Mom, gosh.
I didn't expect you to say that, so I wasn't ready. Is that something that's for sale, or is that going into a museum, or what are they doing?
Oh, no, it's for sale. It's going to auction, just so we're clear. But Gandhi was in prison from 1942 to 1944. Didn't know that. I'll just tell you. If you're like, hey, what can you tell me about Gandhi? I would point you to Gandhi 2, a Weird Al section of the UHF film that he made.
Well, maybe you'll get something, but I don't know.
I'm a bad person. So while he was in prison,
he used the utensils?
As a matter of fact, he did. Yeah. And so as of right now, the last time I checked, it was up to $60,000.
Really?
How can you prove that these were the ones?
Well, they're saying that the items were passed into the collection from a friend that Gandhi stayed with after his release from prison.
So when Gandhi got out of prison, he stole the bowl. I find that hard to believe.
Maybe you kept it and you got to take it with you. I'm not sure.
I don't know. So like in U.S. prison, when you leave prison, they give
you get your stuff back.
You get your stuff back.
You get your stuff back that you went in.
Any money that you may have earned while in the prison system, you had a job, like you get to take that money with you.
I'm not sure. I've never looked into that side of things.
So in the 40s in India, they were like, here's your
bowl, your spoon, and your fork.
Yeah. So best of luck out there. And then what? He was like to his friend. He was like, here, I want you to have it.
No, I just think. Is that it?
No, I can't. No, I want you to have it.
Not the bowl.
I can't take your bowl.
No, I think that's just where the friend had probably other items. And then you fast forward to now, that's where this collection stuff is coming from.
Well,
because everybody wants, Gandhi's glasses. But for this,
right.
The culinary items are what's going up for auction.
The auctioneer said that they have been getting a ton of requests for Gandhi glasses. They only had one pair.
Yes, and that sold last year 26 times over their asking price.
Wow. So what will happen to the Gandhi bowl and cutlery? Who knows?
Okay, but you don't want it.
Well, I mean, I couldn't get the PlayStation headset, so this is like...
This isn't even on the same level. It's not even anywhere close to what you were asking for.
It's not?
It's not. So
well, it wasn't available at Christmas, so who cares?
I would have a hard time if someone got confused enough to get you this compared to what you were asking for.
You open it and you're like, so what is this again?
What do I do with this? And you can't even use it. You're not supposed to use it. You would keep it and then just have it in your collection. Not your like bowl collection, but like your put it on the shelf collection.
Yeah. Okay. And hey, just by the way, if anybody wants to get angry, text, call, or write, yes, I know who Gandhi is. I don't only associate him with Weird Al, but I want you to know.
No, that's all he knows.
I'm embarrassed to tell you that it's the first thing I think of. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah.
It's okay. Obi just has his things.
Give me a steak, medium rare. You'd have to see it.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to the Riot on RadioU.
I don't know, Nikki.
You don't know about this one?
Well, you know what? I don't like Klondike bars, but I'm skipping ahead.
I feel like maybe growing up, I feel like my dad liked them, or maybe my mom did.
My dad loved them, but they always made my teeth hurt.
Oh, because they were too cold?
Yeah.
Do you have sensitive teeth? Did we not know this?
First off, why is it teasing? Is it wrong to have sensitive teeth?
It's
One,
not.
Two. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Okay.
I can't stand I can't eat super cold things. Oh, it makes me shiver and hurt thinking
I don't know if Klondike bars are like as popular, but I feel like it was a mom or dad thing when younger.
Yeah, okay. Well, Klondike knows that
it's still around.
Ice cream is not really a breakfast food, even though it can be if you try really hard. And they have introduced the
You don't have to try hard.
If you just put it in your mouth
Actually,
at the right time of day.
The less you try, it can be a breakfast or an anytime food.
It's true. So Klondike says they've got their new Wake Me Up Coffee Klondike donut.
So it's still it looks like they call it cake in the article, but it
looks like ice cream.
It's just ice cream covered around, but almost in a donut shape, but it's coffee ice cream.
Are you sure? Is that what it is?
Well, it doesn't look like a cake to me. It's going to be the same sort of inside like a Klondike bar.
I know, but this says, and I'm quoting, the cake features a dark chocolate hard shell topped with white confectionery drizzle. But
when you look at it, it looks just like ice cream. I don't know. I don't think you'll know until it's out.
All right, listen. I'm going to switch to a different article.
Well, you want someone to stop by the freezer section?
Well, yeah.
Is anyone at the store? Could you just pop on over and look? It's either cake inside or it's just, the inside like a normal Klondike bar. But for this one, it is made with coffee.
They still don't have less. Okay.
You can't tell, can you?
No.
I know.
Like, even from this write-up, does it have...
What's inside of it?
What is this?
What's it made of?
What are you?
You don't understand, but we get a lot of especially if something's on its way to being nationwide, but it's not released yet. People are just looking at it, writing articles, guessing what it is. but we don't get all the details normally. For this, no one's actually saying what's on the inside, but it's donut shaped.
Hey, no, here we go. Finally, somebody.
A review?
The people at Delish have got
they
something.
did?
They say that Klondike is selling 3 donut-inspired ice cream flavors.
So they're ice cream still.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Because it looked like they were saying that it was just going to be a frozen donut. And everything I've read makes it sound like it. But then you look at the actual Klondike bar and you're like, no, that's ice cream.
It's just a coffee Klondike donut, but it's still the ice cream center.
So now it's like, it's coffee flavored ice cream. It's
well,
like
now
coffee.
it's almost like a wah, wah, wah. You could have put some cake in there. Made a layer or something. It's
They
there.
say it's made with real coffee and that you're actually going to get real caffeine out of it.
You'll get something.
You know what? I'd eat it.
You give it a try?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I've learned as I've gotten older is that if you are careful with how you bite, you can eat a Klondike bar even with sensitive teeth.
Well, for this, it's 100% Colombian coffee.
It's the only kind I want.
And it's going to major retailers starting this month.
This makes me hungry. I'll be right back.
Where are you going to go?
I'm actually going to go get some more coffee. That's
but
real.
not in ice cream form?
Do we have ice cream?
Maybe in the back. We have a freezer in the back.
We probably have some of those, the little frozen
crumble cakes.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I'm sorry that the Riot just devolves into us talking about, what we just want to buy, but I'm there again. I'm trying to figure out. I have some Christmas money and I'm thinking in terms of, should I get some new clothes? So I've been looking at, and I want those PlayStation headphones. So I've been looking at
Is it one or the other, or are we trying to talk you into getting clothes?
No, I think I can do both.
Okay.
But here's what I've been looking at. All right. Maybe it's just, to be clear, it could just be my ads that are doing this to me, but I keep getting ads for like the true tea or the classic tea or whatever. So it's these companies that are claiming to sell you a t-shirt that is a premium.
Yeah.
It's more expensive, but they're saying that it's just an absolutely spectacular shirt.
Are these still the ones with the graphic designs?
No.
Okay, so it's just like a plain t-shirt?
Plain t-shirt. I would start showing up in plain shirts.
I think that could be fine.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Sure.
But the question becomes like, okay, if I'm going to pay $20 for a t-shirt, which sounds absurd, and there's no art on it.
Yeah, but if it's a softer, like a premium one, that $20 is actually not bad.
But is it really?
You're going to have to. You know what? Let's open our heart and trust. Is that it? Is this a trust issue?
Yeah. Everybody, did you guys hear that? Nikki says I should trust the people on the internet.
Well, no, I just mean you're going to have to trust the t-shirt and trust the process.
So here's where I'm at right now. I'm looking at, there's a company called True Classic. And I did. I got an ad for it. And so I was like, well, maybe.
I think you just stick with go to Costco, just see what's there, and just wear that stuff.
Oh, you know what's kind of a bummer there? When they're asking you for what your weight is, I weigh more than their size idea.
Are they tighter shirts?
Yeah.
I think that's what's nice about a good graphic t-shirt. The graphic takes
covers
away
a multitude of sins.
Well, it diverts your attention.
At least you're reading that.
Yeah, for the t-shirt, not like sizing someone up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But there it is. I'm looking. I guess what I'm saying is if anybody's ever done this, because, we saw before Christmas vacation that Amazon had their basic tee or whatever that you could custom order and they would make you a shirt tailored to your
It would actually be
body.
For your measurements. Sure.
Yeah. So, maybe I should do that.
You could. That's also going to be more money.
It is, but a finely tailored shirt.
They always say you have to have a few good quality pieces. And that's all your wardrobe needs to be.
This plain blue t-shirt.
We don't dress up for anything else. So this is a good quality piece.
This is a quality piece.
Yeah, it's a good quality t-shirt.
It's a nice one. You know how cheap I am when I'm like, do I want to spend $20 on a shirt?
I know. That's actually not bad.
Not bad. For some people, they're like, I spend that on half a sock.
Well, it depends on what your workwear is. Ours is not much.
like it's like you have to wear clothes, but that's pretty much the dress code.
That's about it.
Make sure all your parts are covered.
And then they don't really care outside of that.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
I am in awe of what you have just shown me. Like, I am straight up in awe of this.
I feel bad because Eric was showing me these shirts, I think last week, and I guess I assumed he would have sent it to you too, but these are the perfect shirts for you. And Bridget texted in as well, and she reminded of this company.
It's perfect.
It's your whole world right there.
Okay. It's this shirt company called Kind of Fit, Kind of Fat.
Right in the middle.
Yeah. And it shows people lifting weights, but they're also eating snack cakes. And that is me.
It's perfect. Well, she was saying, I've never actually seen one of the shirts in person, so I wasn't sure how the quality was. But she was saying that they're really nice and really soft.
This is my world. Like it's like my problem is I've got muscles and I'm fat.
You need both. Now you can have a merchandise merch that will fit that.
I'm so excited about this. I think I might. I'm going to buy a couple of these shirts.
You should totally do that.
Making gains both ways. Kind of fit, kind of fat.
It's wonderful.
I love it so much.
Well, thank you for texting a reminder.
I want a sticker too, because I'm putting it on my laptop.
Yeah.
Yep. I want that. I want one of these. So there's ones featuring like donuts. There's a pizza one. There's a snack
they're
cake
like
one.
lifting. So it's the merch art for it.
I'm thrilled.
I haven't seen you this happy in a while. Right there.
I love it.
That's pure joy right there.
I mean, it's a little like they're like $28.
Well, you're gonna,
I'm just got to tell you that those are my people. I'll buy from them.
You'll support that. So that's Kind of Fit, Kind of Fat. It's a merch company. He's so excited. You can't see him, but he's just lots of hand gestures, lots of rolling back and forth in his chair. He's so excited.
Guys, it's because like that's me. Like I'm fat, but it's weird. I also can pick things up.
He's also fit. You need to find him on Facebook just to find other people.
Oh my gosh, these are my people.
Well, go shopping and see what you like.
I'm going to go hang out with them, but be quiet because I don't want them to know radio people are super annoying.
Well, there's not a company that's, like fit, fat, and loud.
What about fit, fat, mouthy?
That's the radio side of the world.
Yeah, but, well, I'll stop there.
Why don't you just stick with fit and fat at the same time?
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Who doesn't have enough stuff in their Netflix queue right now? Let's see a show of hands.
You can add more.
Right here.
Well, I think some of us cleared out stuff during, Christmas and New Year's. So maybe it's actually looking slimmer than ever.
I didn't.
You didn't go through your stuff?
No. I did watch quite a few of my 4K Blu-rays.
Sure, but not cleaning out what's in the queue?
No, didn't do a lot of streaming. I did mention, I'm almost done with Star Trek Discovery. They have their finale this week on season 3. I'm embarrassed to tell you that I like it. It has surprised me how much I've enjoyed it.
Having a show that you like, there's nothing wrong with that then. I'm glad you're enjoying it and not disappointed.
I am, but there's a movie that it's a Korean sci-fi movie called Space Sweepers that, according to this article, they say it made huge waves because of its over-the-top action. I've never heard of it.
Well, the main actor in it is extremely well known, and people were waiting for his return through this movie. But then because of COVID, it was supposed to premiere in the summertime, and then that got pushed. And now it's going to be premiering on Netflix worldwide instead of in theaters.
So Netflix bought it. It's going, as Nikki said, worldwide on February 5th.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
Here's what I find interesting. One of the things that I love that Netflix does is when they let us see content from other regions. I love that. I love getting a look at, what does a Korean action film look like? And I've watched quite a few. Some of them very good, some of them not very good.
It's a toss-up, but yeah, they have a lot more stuff than you would think that is done really well.
Now, the one thing that I do want to throw out here is it was roughly, I believe, this time last year that we were talking about The Wandering Earth.
Yeah.
That was a massive budget Chinese film.
Yeah, was that last year or the year before?
Pretty sure it was last year. It was early on last year. Well, okay, let's put it this way. it released in theaters back when those existed.
And then I think in January was when it's released a little bit more
on Netflix. Netflix bought, because I believe it was in theaters fall of 19, and then it was winter quarter of 20.
That thing made so much money.
It did. It made a lot of money, and I want you to know I watched a solid 30 minutes of it.
Oh, you did?
Like at least. And it was good. I don't know why I couldn't keep going. I just didn't. And then you know what happens. It's another shiny thing.
Well, there's...
you end up watching that instead.
I started it right before we came back to work a couple of nights. It's called Sweet Home. It's a Korean zombie sort of monster TV show.
Wait, Sweet Home?
Yeah, and it's I think that's the name of it. And it was wrong to start so late at night. You know, sometimes monster shows are not always the best. They're more unsettling. And it was unsettling. But good. I just haven't finished it yet.
And so it's a show.
It's on Netflix too.
It is, okay. I've seen this art before, even though I didn't know what it was called. I still haven't finished Kingdom either. That's the other South Korean zombie thing.
Both seasons?
Remember? Neither.
Yeah,
I watched like
3
3 episodes of it, and it was excellent. And I was like, I can't watch people eat each other anymore.
It's just not the right time. You know, you go back and forth between monster zombie stuff and something a little bit more lighthearted, or like Star Trek.
Well, the sad part about Star Trek is everybody's like, things are bad, but we're making them better. And I'm like, me too. I want to do that with spaceships.
Let's watch another episode. Yay.
Oh, hate myself a little.
No.
Just like a little.
Yeah, but everybody's like that. Well, that's how we are with our shows.
Yeah, so that's coming on February 5th. And I'll tell you what, I'll give it at least 10 minutes, but then I will absolutely add it to my queue.
And that's called Space Sweepers?
Yeah, it's just like when Wonder Woman debuted. It's a big blockbuster, but at home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And I'm sure everyone will love it as much as they loved Wonder Woman. The response was overwhelming.
Sure, they might like it more or less.
They might cut it more slack.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
USA! USA! They're out there setting records, people. It actually... Planet Earth! Planet Earth!
Is this a worldwide number that they're coming out with?
It is a worldwide number. It's not just a USA number. I'm sorry for my jingo-centric approach to the news. Here we go, Nikki. $540 million.
That's a big number.
That's how much money we spent in the iTunes App Store, or the Apple App Store, on New Year's Day.
Just for the one day?
One day.
Wow, worldwide?
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
It's a record. That is the most they have sold on the App Store in one day.
So does that count an app if it costs money to get it, or does that count in-app purchases for an app during that time? Because I'm sure there's tons of people just downloading, freemium apps.
So here's what they say. That included digital goods and services.
So it does include
So it would include in-app purchases.
Sure. Well, that's a record spending day.
Here's another crazy number for you. If you go from Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve, so the week building up to the biggest day of spending, $1.8 billion was spent in the App Store.
We got to make a game or some sort of app. You got to get into that to make some money.
They say that most of that money was spent on games in the App Store.
Despite it not including Fortnite, because that's still not back in the Apple App Store.
No, it's not. They're still fighting over it.
So that could have been even higher if that would have been an option for people.
Now think about this. People spend enough money on Fortnite. Look at there's $1.8 billion that gets spent in the App Store, and Epic Games is making enough money from Fortnite that they were like, nah, we don't want a piece of that. We want the whole thing.
Well, Apple gets so much of each
one. I know.
So they were not. It's set up.
They were not willing to share with Apple. I know that's devastating to a lot of people.
So for Apple, they're saying they're relying more and more on this sort of way to make money, so that, say, the new phone comes out and it might not do as well, or laptops are down, or iPads are up. That can swing up and down as the market changes. So in order to fill in the gaps, if you want to say it. This sort of money they really want to keep a hold of. They're not letting their profit go anywhere.
Right.
Because they want to count on this way to make money.
It's amazing.
So they're saying, hardware aside, apps for them for the store is just a big business.
Well, the storefronts, it's like everything else. One of the best ways to make money isn't to make your own thing. It's to just get a tiny, tiny slice of what everyone else is doing. It's how your credit card works.
Yeah.
It's how a lot of banking works.
It's everything.
It's why you have PayPal, the Cash App, Venmo, and like on and on and on. It's all about getting they don't want the whole thing. They just want a slice.
They just want a bit, and a bit adds up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I feel like maybe I should blame my mom, maybe like my grandma. It could be my dad. We're just going to have to I need to figure out who I can blame for this.
Well, does that make you feel better then? We got to find someone else?
My grandma used to work for, I don't know if they still make this, Highlights for Children.
Oh, that was the magazine, when you were like at the doctor's.
And then in Highlights, there would be like, here's 2 pictures. Spot the 8 differences between the pictures or whatever. And you would circle the thing that was different. I have this weird obsession with wanting to see different versions of things. And I've been thinking about it because it crosses all over my psychology. Like it's all over the place. I love to compare and contrast things, apparently. And here's where I get into trouble. I think it's part of what makes me love buying new copies of movies so much. I will get the disc out of the old version of the movie and watch sections of it, and then get out the new disc of the movie and watch the same section so that I can spot the differences.
Wow, that's deep.
I know.
That explains a lot.
I know, it's weird, right?
It is, because for some, you're like, well, it's the same thing. What's the big deal? Why do you need a different version of it? But you like to see what's done to it.
You're like, look at the spectral highlights, the macro blocking. Obviously, there's something different here. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but that's just something you like. It doesn't have to make sense.
But okay, let me give you another example. For example, I have a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I have a computer. And so on my computer, 2 years ago, I played through a game called Control. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So much fun. So Control is on sale on the PlayStation 5. And so I'm just like, dude, I should buy it. I'm like, why? You own it. You could go home and play it. I'm like, but yeah, this is the other version. We should check out the other version. And the thing is, the impetus, like I wouldn't play the whole thing. I would want to spend an hour with it, maybe looking at it and then be done.
Just to see what it feels like to play it on a different console.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, but I think none of this is alarming. Maybe, do you want like comfort in that?
Well, I think
I wouldn't be worried.
I think this might be a therapy thing. Like I got to get in there. We got to
lay
talk
down,
this through.
Talk through this.
And we got to find who we can blame for it. Right now I'm landing on my grandma's Highlights for Children subscription thing.
But it is funny to see how you liked that even back when you were a kid. And now this is just the grown-up version of it.
I know.
So you're going to get the game?
I don't know.
How much is it?
Nikki, what's the rule?
2 days. You got to wait 2 days?
No, you're not allowed to buy something during the show.
Oh, that's right.
So something like this seems like so much fun and such a great idea.
But you're going to want to wait till the show's over.
Waiting.
But how much is it?
$20.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
But if we do that with everything.
It's wasteful. That's what it is. Like, it's wasteful. But that's why I'm trying to solve the psychology of it. If I can figure out what part of me is broken, then we can fix it, and I'll be free from buying things to compare.
It could be wasteful in some areas, but because you enjoyed the game so much, I don't think it's as wasteful.
He's got a problem, kids.
Because you already liked it a lot. If it was a new game and you just weren't sure, but now it's a favorite of yours.
Man, I'm going to end up in the therapy and they're going to be like, did your parents positively reinforce you for going to the potty? Or did they
don't go
negatively?
Back that far.
Okay. Was there a chart involved? Did you like to have...
We don't want to know anymore.
I agree. I think we're done here.
Are people really still listening to the riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
Hey, guys. Just hanging out. just doing our thing. You know what I think? Do you feel like everyone has at this point just given up on the New Year's resolution thing?
Well,
like they're just done.
I don't know how yesterday maybe helped with everything, but I have not seen a lot of people that have been very vocal about their resolutions starting with the first of this month. But then they also say you're not supposed to be. It's tempting to be so vocal if you want to make a resolution, but they say it's actually better if you don't, because then you don't feel that pressure to keep it up and then you just completely drop it.
Well, I'll just say this, okay, first off, don't you feel like you've lived 20 years this week? It doesn't
feel like we moved into a new year to me.
Yeah,
it's just still the same old stuff.
Same old.
Yeah.
Like we're back. This is the 4th day of the first week.
Yeah.
And we've only started the 4th day.
Sure.
I feel like you and I have been here. Like we just live in this room now.
Well, we do also feel that because we were out last week. And so that is a feeling that happens when you come back in for your first full week.
Normally, I would see tons of articles about like how to lose weight, how to get back in the gym, how to whatever. They're not here. Those articles where they don't exist. Like maybe they are and they're just buried in my feed somewhere. But I'm just telling you that normally this time of year, it would be friends like, man, giving up caffeine is hard. Like, I can't wait for my cheat day. Like whatever. It's nowhere to be found in my world.
In the online world, they're not supposed to encourage the gym stuff. So there's not as much for them to offer, because a lot of times news sources, they're not coming up with new stuff. They just recycle each January's content.
Just bring it back.
And they're just not bringing it back yet. Maybe you'll see it by the end of January when they tie in, like if you are doing a resolution, what is the point where they say, is it like
it's January? Okay.
There's a day they always say, if you make it to that, you have a fighting chance. But if you don't make it to that, then you're not going to keep doing it.
Okay, I believe January 8th, it's either the 11th or the 18th is what they call Blue Monday.
That's it, yeah.
And that's the one where they say that it's one of the most quote-unquote depressing days of the year because you've essentially come all the way down from all of the holiday hype. And so you're getting hit with the credit card bills from the holidays.
It's Monday, January 18th.
And they say that's the day that more people than any other day will bail on their New Year's resolutions.
So they say that every year, the third Monday of January is always dubbed Blue Monday. And that's when everyone's cold, broke, and you have guilt. So...
Well,
that's the trifecta.
Isn't that Martin Luther King Day this year?
I think it is, yeah.
Well, hopefully you get the day off. That'll give at least then you'll have until Blue Tuesday.
It happens each year. Maybe it's helpful to be aware that it'll be coming.
Yeah.
Just to kind of prepare yourself.
I just feel like this has been, like everything else I know, so different. And I was just thinking to myself, normally I have to cut through all the chatter of my friends that are so excited about. No.
None of that.
None of that. Nobody's talking about it.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, Nikki, one of the other things that normally happens this time of year that we haven't talked about yet, CES.
Oh, the Consumer Electronics Show?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Oh, they're not having that.
No, they're not. Not as they normally would. CES is going virtual.
Yeah, that was just where you would learn a lot about TVs, electronic stuff. That would be what would be coming out in this year. Oh, that was always a fun time.
This year, they've changed it up where they're going to show you like the TVs and things that are coming out this year that only the online resellers will get and bots, and you'll never be able to actually buy.
None of the stuff will be for this year. It'll all be for so late in this year or practically next year.
So they're doing virtual CES, and it's going to happen next week. So it's not that we've missed it. It's just that I don't understand. In the middle of all this other stuff, why aren't we talking more about gadgets and electronics?
There just hasn't been anything new.
Why are we so focused on the news?
And you were so mad because all the gadgets and electronics no one could end up getting.
No, I mean, and it'll be that again. And you know what, for me, a lot of times with consumer electronics, I wanted a new game console or a new this, and I got it. I'm good. Like, I'm good for a while.
So I'm reading an article saying this time of the year. Well, no, this time of the year, normally Vegas would be extremely busy because of CES. The convention would normally bring in over 180,000 people, and it would bring in Vegas about almost $300 million is what they would make from it.
Yeah.
So because it's going virtual, a lot of people are noticing that. I mean, that's just another big hit to Vegas that they're not getting any of that money.
It's wild.
And I mean, that's a lot.
Well, it
seems a lot to us, but.
Well, it's just one more piece of the local economy. Like, they expect that. So, they're used to that happening, and now it's not. Like, that's a big deal.
It's even worse because Vegas spent so much money on a new conference hall at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Yes.
And CES was supposed to be the first big event at this. So they spent $980 million making this convention center.
Oh my gosh.
It's 1.4 million square feet, and it was supposed to be all teched out and just amazing and bringing in all these places. So they were expecting some of that money to help pay for this thing. And now they can't have any conventions and everything's empty.
Wow.
So it's a lot. You're like, oh, it's virtual, but that has a big impact when something goes virtual.
Well, I guess, like, if you really want to keep digging on this thing, it comes down to, like, okay, your favorite band, you weren't able to go see them live, but you were able to see them online. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, well, okay, the band's doing okay, but there's a whole other side of that industry that's like the promoters and the people that work the concession stand at the play. And there's a lot more to it than just the band not getting the money, or, Sony didn't get a chance to show off their new TVs in person this year. Like, there's way more to it than that.
So they're planning on the Consumer Electronics Show to be back in Las Vegas next year in person.
Yes.
Everybody always says that. This was also supposed to be the debut of Elon Musk's Boring Company Underground People Mover project.
Yes.
But they're not sure what all will be unveiled, if anything.
It didn't sound very exciting anyway.
Well, everything will be virtual for CES, but that'll be some tech news next week.
Oh, yeah. So who wants to listen to the Riot talk about a bunch of tech stuff? They never do that.
Would.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on Radio U.
Let's talk about tipping, and let's talk about this woman it's not new. It showed up on TikTok a while ago, but it is just like everything else on the internet. It goes away for a while, and then whoop, it's back.
I actually think because everybody was probably having things delivered a lot more during Christmas time, and they felt like this was really pretty much a Grinch sort of thing from what this lady did, that it really became popular last week. It just came back as a video to watch.
Okay, so here's the deal. You've got a delivery driver that shows up with food. Mm-hmm. And is not happy with the tip that they're given. They get tipped $8. Now, the delivery driver says that she had to drive 40 minutes with the food.
Yeah, that's not unheard of.
The person who lives there is like, no, it is a 15-minute drive from here to the restaurant. Mm-hmm. It is not 40 minutes. And so they tipped her $8. The driver was like, you have to tip me more than this. And they were like, nope, we're not doing that. And so the delivery driver
they're talking through the doorbell.
Yes, they are. And the delivery driver was like, fine, and just took the food back to the restaurant.
She said she's just going to take it back. So she left with the food. And it was just really weird. It seemed like there was other things going on in this lady's life, and this was it.
Like she finally, last straw?
Something broke, yeah. But it was totally wrong. I mean, for delivery...
Pause. Who is wrong here?
The delivery driver.
Okay. On
how she handled it, because, they know what... I think they know what the tip will be. I'm not sure 100%, but they know the distance. They know the details of the house. You can accept an order or you can not do it.
Yeah, sure.
So it's not like she didn't know some of the details going into it. But you don't just leave the food. I mean, I've seen that a lot of people will take the picture of the food and then take it with them. So they'll show like, oh, your food was delivered. They'll take a picture, but then the driver will just go ahead and take it back. and then just steal the food. And then they'll say, oh, something must have happened. Someone else must have stole it. But so many people have cameras now that it all gets caught.
Yeah.
Similar to, it's been delivery drivers. There's been an increase in them doing it as well.
Yeah.
For like Amazon and UPS and all that.
Well, like that's the thing. I had one of my neighbors that actually texted me yesterday, like, hey, you've got stuff on your porch. Make sure you get it. It's like, you know what?
Yes, I'll go out and get it now.
Good call. I should go out and grab that while it's still there.
Yeah, so this is the DoorDash delivery driver, the lady that just loses it, and she's talking through the Ring camera, and it was in New York.
Man, you know what? The weirdest part about this whole story is that now I'm just thinking about how great it would be to have some food right now.
I know, someone bring it. She said, though, I don't think you realize the distance that it comes from because then you would have never given what you gave. So she was saying how you should have given more. So I think you can come see me face to face. So she wanted the person to come out, talk to her face to face, and give her more money.
Okay, just to be clear, then I'm definitely not going to the door.
For sure not going to happen.
I dare you to say that to my face.
She says, I got it to you early, so I don't think you realize where you ordered from. And the customer's like, no, I do know, and it wasn't that far, so something was up. Yes. You don't go to the door then at that point. You just let her leave.
Man, that lady's making me nervous. I'm not even there.
It's that type of situation. You get really uncomfortable.
You know what? Never mind. I'll just go get it myself.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, so
you okay over there?
Look, last night, I'll just tell you right now, I take Prozac. How's that? I take it. There. You happy? Everybody knows now. It's a generic form of Prozac called, what's it called? Fluoxetine.
Ah, the generic one.
There you go. Now you know. Whee! I'm just getting it out there.
Sure.
Because last night I went to the pharmacy to get my prescription.
Yeah.
No, I don't have it delivered, even though I could. I don't know why. I just go pick it up. That's what I do.
And you go in and pick it up?
I did this time because I needed something else from CVS. And I was like...
So you needed to go in for more stuff.
Whatever. I need this thing. I could make this a whole one-stop shopping trip. And you know that I hit the clearance candy section on my way out. And I got a white peppermint something.
Are you supposed to eat with the medicine too?
No.
You're not supposed to eat candy with it?
It was just on the way back. And I was down the aisle and I was like, this is all 50% off?
It's all on sale.
I don't know what my weight problem's about. So I'm back there. And you know what? Like, okay, I get it. Like, I'm not famous. I'm not a celebrity. And yet... people know me.
Well, they especially recognize your voice.
Voice and name.
Mostly because if you meet someone in radio, we're just loud all the time. So you can usually hear us over everybody else. And your name is your day-to-day name as well. Yes. Some people use different names on the radio.
My name is Obadiah.
Yeah, that's your real name.
So a lot of times when I go to restaurants or different places, I will give them Wayne as my... Why am I telling you guys that? I shouldn't tell you that. That's my middle name. And
it's not your secret one. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's easier to spell. There's less whatever. It's fine. But at the pharmacy, you can't use an alias.
Sure. Obadiah it is.
So I roll up and the guy's like, what's your name? And I was like, Obadiah? He's like, what's that?
Obadiah?
Obadiah. He's like, could you spell that for me?
He wasn't getting it.
I was just like, yes. It's Obadiah. And you know what? I had two people look over and I was like, you guys.
They listen?
Here I am. I'm here getting my crazy pills.
Well, they don't know what you're picking up.
I wanted to just grab the mic and be like, would you mind? Can I borrow can you do an all page for the store? My name's Obadiah. I'm here to get my Prozac.
They wouldn't know what you were picking up at all. They wouldn't know. But you just told them.
Well, I did now. What's the point in having any secrets?
Why? Why have any of that?
I'm also here for some KO Pectate and some Ensure. How about that?
No.
The last two weren't true, but I mean, I'll just go ahead.
Might as well have been.
Excuse me, do you have an anti-diarrheal for Obadiah?
Ew. Too much.
Can I get some adult diapers?
Too much.
I know.
But they wouldn't know what medicine you were getting. They just know that you're you're Obadiah.
Here's what's funny, though, is that I don't care. I don't care.
Sure.
I don't care. Like, sure. You see me in public, come talk to me. I don't care. I really don't. I love talking to people, whatever. I feel like it was the only moment in my life where I was like, I would just like to quietly go in here and get this and quietly walk out.
It wasn't happening.
No big deal. And this guy's like, I can't hear you. Can you spell it? Man, is this happening? Is this really happening
next time,
now?
Why don't you write it out next time, like on a piece of paper, and just slide it over him so you won't announce it to everybody who you are.
Afterwards, I actually thought, I was like, you could have just handed him your driver's license.
That would have been a good idea.
So much faster.
Then you wouldn't even have to say anything in the beginning. You just pass it over.
Instead, I'm like, attention CVS shoppers, Obadiah
is here.
Thanks for shopping, and don't forget, you're going to get a receipt that's longer than your car.
Well, if you would have done that, if you would have at least make sure to promote Radio U, that they can listen to you every morning.
Oh,
because I would have been disappointed if you wouldn't have used that opportunity.
And don't forget to listen to The Riot every day, 6 a.m. to noon Eastern. And if you can't hear us on the air, you can always download our free app or listen at RadioU.com.
Never a bad time to promote.
Available now in aisle 5, the Roku, and we also have a Roku channel. Have your grandchildren help you set it up.
Gosh. Okay.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no, I missed it. Do it again.
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
It's made from reconstituted,
Pee.